Hong Kong's chief executive, John Lee, today unveiled a $3.8 billion fund and new ultra-liberal visa rules to attract global talent to the city. It's an attempt to reverse the tide of highly skilled people who have left the island since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. CBS News senior foreign correspondent Elizabeth Palmer is joining us now from Hong Kong to talk about today's policy address. Very interesting, because I think for the past handful of years, I'm going to say maybe 3 years or so, there's been such an intense crackdown on liberal voices, journalists,
and everybody I know
activists
who lived in Hong Kong, who was there working for international companies, international media organizations, have subsequently left Hong Kong to go to other places, Singapore and Seoul, among others.
So there you go. So here is Elizabeth. Can we talk a little bit about what drove many of these very talented people away from Hong Kong?
As you mentioned, some of them left because China has been exerting increasingly authoritarian control, has pretty much snuffed out freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. But the vast majority of them left because the COVID restrictions were just so draconian. At one stage, anybody coming to Hong Kong had to go to a hotel at their own expense for 3 weeks to quarantine before they could even get out. Now, things have lightened up since then, but everybody is masked. And Hong Kong's gone for this Chinese-style social control, where you can't get in and out of public places without an app on your phone that shows that you're COVID-free, which means you have to take successive tests. And the other rule is that people coming into Hong Kong these days for 3 days can't eat inside. So that meant that, for example, when we came, we had to be eating, takeout food in the park at night until we got our clean COVID bill of health. Now, international business people, highly skilled, well paid, that have to come and go, they're just not going to put up with that.
So sorry.
So you go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Liz, this package of incentives announced by Mr. Lee, what are they, and will that be enough to lure some folks back? I suspect it will, because it may not bring entire companies back, but certainly people, individuals, might be willing to go and live there and work there.
We'll see. One of the things that may be attractive to some young people from top universities worldwide, they're going to be offered a 2-year open visa just to come and look for a job. So they won't have to have one to come to. They can come and look. And salaries obviously will be generous because there's a real competition for labor. But on the other hand, if the stock market is any indication, it went down after John Lee's speech. So the money people were not impressed. I talked to the manager, or rather the head of a sort of a group of investment companies, and she said that their members, 30% of their members have already moved jobs offshore. So to some extent, there's not the kind of work here that there was, and there are good alternatives in the region. I mean, companies are moving to Singapore for sure, Vietnam, Australia. There are alternatives.
So we've got this fund to try and attract talent. But what about the COVID rules that you just brought up? I mean, is there any sign that they will be less restrictive in the near future?
Well, there wasn't any sign in the speech. Everybody was listening for it. Obviously, people are fed up. When you have to wear a mask here and really wear it. If you have it sort of just under your nose, for example, you can get fined. And so people have had enough. As well, they don't believe there's any public health reason for it. They think it's political. But Mr. Lee gave no hint that they would be lifted. He is clearly trying to be in the spirit of the Chinese zero COVID policy. And as we know, Xi Jinping the other day said that he wasn't going to let up on his zero COVID policy. So on that front, it looks pretty bleak.
So let's turn now, Liz, to the Korean Peninsula. The North and the South Koreans have been engaged in military exercises very close to the DMZ. Are people worried in South Korea?
You know, I think they're so used to it, even though there's been a huge increase in tensions in the last few weeks on the Korean Peninsula. Everybody assumes that this is, to some extent, posturing. And to some extent it is. At the moment, South Korea and the U.S. are conducting military drills in the north of the country, near the border, near-ish the border. And North Korea has chosen to see those as a provocation. And so it fired 200 big artillery barrages offshore into the sea, but it landed in the water that's really the buffer zone. I mean, that's too close for comfort when you're talking about this kind of technology. And of course, the more dangerous projectiles are flying around up there with tensions this high, the greater the chance of an accident, and that could lead very fast into serious confrontation, which would be dangerous and potentially really terrible.
Right, not just in North and South Korea, but Japan, other countries in that area. Liz, thank you.
Thank you, Liz.